back to the channel, friends. As always, man, I am super stoked to see you. So I want to talk to you about why you should join the Army this late in 2020. So let's get to this. So why should you, as a first sergeant, I've been doing this for a long time, and I've talked to all my dudes over the years, and they all have different responses for why they enlisted, as I'm sure you would. And if you're considering, leave a comment down below as far as why you're considering enlisting in the military or the Army, right? Which, so of course, the Army is part of the military. Some came in because of family tradition or legacy, right? Some came in because they needed to get out of a situation that they were stuck in, and that they saw that as their escape pod to do that. Some needed some money, some needed to pay for college, some had, so some of it was financial for some of it was family, healthcare and things of this nature, and others just wanted to be part of an organization and serve, and some just wanted, some good on-the-job training. So I think there's a variety of quality answers to enlist, and I gotta tell you, look, man, I am not a recruiter. Like, look at me, man, I don't care if you join or not. If you do, hats off and thank you. Especially now during a time of war, right? Like when I initially enlisted in '95 and I enlisted in the Marine Corps, I wasn't thinking about war. But you all, everybody from 2001 forward, has to. Regardless of what job that you pick, regardless of what service you join. I don't care if you're an admin clerk. I don't care if you're a maintainer. I don't care if you're a welder or a photographer or if you're an infantryman. You need to have it right in your head that your number could get called to locate, close with, and destroy the enemy by fire and assault. I mean, bam. Pure, that's straight up, bud. So just make sure you have that in your head, as you're mulling over your decisions. It may not happen, but it might happen, and we just all need to be ready for that should it come, right? Now, all that being aside, all those disclaimers out there of some different things, I'm going to tell you why you should probably consider joining. One, it is an outstanding occupation. It's a profession that you can see from day 1 all the way through day 30, and you can see it. And as you keep going, you can see how to get to the next step. You could join, go to work for a plant out in town, just like everybody else in your small town does. And you could go in and be hired on as a welder. In 30 years, you're going to be a welder. It doesn't work like that in the Army. The Army is up or out at the end of the day. So we spend a lot of time training and developing and ensuring that your tomorrow is better than today. All right, there's a ton of days off in the military, man. Almost every month there's a 4-day weekend, plus 30 days paid vacation. Starting off, and most places you're lucky to get 5 days paid vacation after a year, and maybe 2 weeks paid vacation after 3 years. Man, 30 days paid vacation, and it occurs, right? So that is pretty awesome. The pay structure is predictable. It's not the greatest pay in the world, right? But I think, for an entry-level job, being a, we'll just say that you're a cook, right? You enlist and you're a cook, or you're go be a cook at, say, McDonald's. You're going to make more money in the military, hands down. So the pay's not great, but you have a path, and pretty soon you're going to be telling cooks what to do, and then pretty soon you're going to be telling supervisors of cooks what to do. That's just how it naturally goes. And so as a result, in 4, 8, 12, 20 years, 30 years down the road, you do have a lot more experience than you would have had, if you just stayed in a small town, working in a gas station or something like that. So being part of an organization, I think, that's bigger than yourself is a big reason for a lot, but I know it's probably not at the forefront of people's thinking. But I think subversively, it's probably in everybody's mindset. At least I'd like to think that it is, right? to serve something and be connected with something that is bigger than yourself. That is a huge honorable means or way of thinking about approaching the military. Healthcare is another really huge one, because right off the bat, you as a service member are covered 100%, man. Health and dental, 100%. Hondo. All your family, Hondo on the definitely on the medical side. Our dental care could use some work. But you know, that is huge, especially if you are maybe a little bit older and you have a spouse, maybe you have some kids and you're struggling. Maybe there are some pre-existing conditions in there. Man, we don't care. Just come on and we'll take care of you. So there is that, and that's huge for a lot of people out there. And I know that if you're out there and you're married or you have a kid, you know how heavy this weighs on you. I had to get a $500 a month pay raise during my break in service in order to pay, and that entire pay raise went to paying for health care for my family. That was tough. You know, so I mean, we could go on with 1,000 other reasons. And again, I think, you know, schooling and education is another big one that people have out there. And I'll talk about the money. But the GI Bill is huge, and it's a program that most vets really don't take advantage of. But you know, after you get out, you can get 3 years of school with BAH, which is, man, you know, it's a upwards of a couple grand, I guess, now anymore. And your schooling being paid for. That's huge. Plus, while you're in, the Army will pay tuition assistance. If you're coming in, talking about that dinero, Army has some programs depending on your GT score. Now, in another video, man, I will tell you how to talk to a recruiter to open up the possibilities, to open up the doors, to have a brighter future for yourself. At least to have the options for what it is that you might want to be getting after. But the Army will pay for school, and they'll pay school debts off to a certain degree. And of course, depending on your MOS, your job that you're going to pick, will come with some different money. Of course, the options out there to explore the world, you know, but truth be told, you just don't know where you're going to go or how you're going to go or what you're going to do when you're going to get there. Maybe you may serve at Fort Stewart for 4 years and say, you know, this Army life is not for me, and pop smoke. Or you could end up, you know, going to Korea for your first year, and then going to Germany for a couple years, and then coming back to the States for a couple years. So that's kind of hit or miss depending on what your MOS is and where and when you get to somebody. It's all about that timing. So leave some comments down below, man, and we will keep this conversation rolling. But it is a viable option to join right now, right? Earlier this year, COVID shut down the economy. I still had a paycheck coming in, and I was still working, as were all my soldiers. We got elections coming up in about a month. There's a lot of uncertainty out there, and if you want certainty, this is a way for you to get it. And if you do, again, man, hats off to you and salute. And if your family members have in the past as well, my salutes to them. If you enjoyed the content of the video, make sure you like it, subscribe to the channel so you can stay up to date on some future content. And as always, until then, you keep on grinding.